Peele will be here live.
Plus, David Fincher is producing an animated adaptation of the cult graphic novel The Goon, and he's using Kickstarter to do it. Oh, the film's director here live to explain how. Andy is off to the side, and
Is everything okay? Is everything okay?
I was very distracted by your actions over there.
You're laughing thinking about Jordan Peele's going to be here, who's one of the funniest people.
That's why I'm actually laughing.
So
you know what? There's actually a massive billboard on Sunset right next to my gym.
Okay.
Of Key and Peele, the new season.
Are you a big workout kind of girl?
What? Do I ever? And recently, when I've been going to work out, I keep running into Fabio. I did it again. I ran into him again.
Does Fabio?
I loved it.
Does he work out? Is he?
I don't know. It's kind of weird because his hair is always down, and I think he wants people to know that it's him. But I was walking up the stairs after my butt and legs class, and I was like, very wobbly. What?
It looked good. Butt and legs look good. It's good. Yeah, it's a good job.
And I was like almost falling down, and I walk up, and then there's Fabio just sitting like at one of the machines with a big grin on his face. And I saw him, and I smiled back. We made eye contact.
Was there a fan blowing on him?
Yes. There was. His hair was blowing.
This was yesterday you did all this?
Yes, this was last night. Did you do anything fun?
I went out to eat with my brother. Is that as cool as seeing Fabio?
That's as cool as seeing Fabio, but was it fun?
It was fun. We went to Soup Plantation.
Oh,
that was fun. That was fun.
Did he treat you to Soup Plantation?
My brother did not treat me. He had a gift card, so I thought maybe he was gonna.
Yeah.
But he actually just used it for himself, and then I paid cash.
Jerk. Your brother's a jerk.
Todd is not afraid to mess with me.
You want to run down the top things on the web?
Let's go around the interspace web, Annette. Round the net.
Yeah.
Interspace web. Candace, yes. This is my favorite part.
My favorite part, too.
My favorite part. Candace, what's going on in Webland today?
All right, our first stop is Cleveland. Ooh. And as if that weren't horrible enough, we have a Browns fan who has agreed to stick his head into a bucket of pee for $450.
What?
Do it.
Here's the worst part about that. Ohio's a swing state, so his vote counts more than everyone else in this room.
That's very sad. You know, R. Kelly saw this video and immediately asked that guy out on a date. It's true. It's true.
That being said, I would rather stick my head in a bucket of piss than watch any Cleveland sports team.
But if I was going to stick my head into a bucket of pee, it would need to be a bigger bucket. The diameter, it was just not big enough.
This is an irrational thing, and you're rationally...
$450, not enough.
How much would you need for a bucket of piss?
A lot.
A lot?
A lot in a much bigger bucket.
I have $19 in my green room.
That is not enough.
Not enough.
Not nearly enough.
That's all I ever have is $19.
That's a weird number. Now here's a wedding video from the Eastern European nation of Georgia featuring the romantic tradition of a couple sipping champagne out of each other's glasses. Well, the tradition is romantic. The bride and groom...
Sen ona çiz, o da sana.
Ne zaman verirsem bunlara?
Ladies and gentlemen, John and Jan Costa. No, that's not my parents, not my parents. But can you even imagine that couple's wedding night, like trying to consummate the marriage? That would take 3 weeks and 4 calls to the doctor.
And what's so sad is if that's them on what's supposed to be the happiest day of their lives, what do they look like on the saddest day?
That's their happiest day, and it was my saddest day.
Mine too.
Watching them.
And they didn't even drink it right. This is how you do it.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. And we
Not
did it like, and then a scowl on my face.
It's weird. Weird. All right, and finally, that couple might be awkward, but they are not nearly as scary as this duo.
Hi, Popayuas. Quiet, please.
Oh, my God, where is that?
Candace, you know deep down, if you think about it, where that is. That's Florida. It's always Florida. And the worst part is Florida is also a swing state, so this guy's vote is also worth more than all of us.
You know, I know y'all like to talk crap about Florida, but a lot of great things come from there. We got Disney World.
Okay. That's...
We got Pensacola Beach, where I grew up, the world's widest beaches. It's like sugar.
Is it?
We've got me.
Yeah, I mean,
Me, I'm from Florida.
Candace from
My
Florida.
granny and granddaddy are from Florida.
You being from Florida is awesome, but here's what I don't like about Florida. Swamp ass everywhere I go.
Swamp ass is the worst.
Massive, I have swamp ass.
I always get swamp.
Lot of terrible tattoos in Florida.
Florida's great.
Okay.
Florida's great. That'll do, internet videos. That'll do.
Still ahead, I have once again been denied the Nobel Peace Prize. But if I eat more chocolate, that's going to change.
Technically, that might be true. Find out why after this.
Swamp ass.
I know.
Welcome back. When it comes to being the best, here are the things I personally believe. Gillette is the best a man can get. Beyonce made the best music video of all time. And when it comes to finding the best buy, you should never go to Best Buy. Unless, of course, you're going this holiday season, since they're matching online competitors' prices. Now, before you go bringing in screen grabs from your buddy's Tumblr page about a $20 flat screen TV, keep in mind I said matching competitors' prices, which in this case is mostly Amazon.com. Best Buy is trying to deal with an epidemic called showrooming, where people come to their stores to look at prospective purchases, then save a few bucks by buying those items online instead. That's like going to a strip club, not paying for a lap dance, and going home to take care of business online. I don't know how they got that photograph. But here's the thing. The discount will be given on an if-asked basis at the discretion of Best Buy staffers on the sales floor, a.k.a. my mortal enemies. I have to talk to those worthless blue-shirted buffoons. That's the whole reason I buy stuff online. I don't want to interact with anyone. Do you know how awkward it is to buy television in person when you're not wearing any pants? Hell, I don't even like when the pizza delivery guy sees me not wearing any pants. The sad reality is, unless Best Buy lives up to its name, instead of just becoming Match Buy, it's still not enough to take away from the convenience of buying online. So if Best Buy wants to compete at all, they have to get the best prices and stop making everyone wear pants.
Yeah. Just so you know, we're not doing this deal on Black Friday.
That's the only day I was thinking about going to Best Buy, and you're telling me you're not going to do it.
Sorry about that.
You're so smug and annoying. Where are the headphones for your...
It's not my department.
Of course it's not. Get out of here. I hate those guys. I hate that they even brought one in. Moving on. Listen up, people. Real Best Buy worker. Meningitis isn't just a word that looks weird even when it's spelled correctly. It's a scary disease that, according to the writer who looked this up on Wikipedia this morning, inflames tissue in the brain and spinal cord region. That's the area of the body where the magical gnomes who keep us alive take naps. Citation needed. I guess they banned Wikipedia in Florida for having too much science, because after a recent outbreak of fungal meningitis, Florida Governor Rick Scott announced a phone hotline where people could get information on the disease. Sounds good, except it's Florida. So the number the governor gave out actually went to a phone sex line. Wait, there are still phone sex lines? What century is it in Florida? The mistake was eventually fixed, but it's easy to see how Governor Rick got confused. Here's the commercial for the real fungal meningitis hotline.
Hey there. If you're looking for some medically accurate information on the dangers of fungal meningitis, this is your lucky day. Because medical professionals from the Florida Department of Health are standing by to answer all your questions. So don't wait to call. Seriously, don't wait. Meningitis will kill you.
I can't wait to get meningitis again now. Quick, name the last time you were upset over who won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry. And the fact that your mail-in vote for Walter White keeps getting returned doesn't count. Okay, so why are people always mad at the Nobel Peace Prize winner? It's because unlike science, peace is something we Americans can understand. Except, of course, when it comes to being nice to fans of other religions or sports teams. This year, the prize went to the European Union. And once again, everyone is complaining about it. Keep in mind, this is a prize that was awarded to a newly elected Barack Obama, the not-so-peaceful Yasser Arafat, and after 5 nominations, never to Gandhi. I mean, Ben Kingsley won an Oscar for pretending to be Gandhi. The Peace Prize obviously means nothing. It's like complaining about who won the MTV Movie Award for Best Kiss. I mean, Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst? Really? Did no one see About Schmidt that year? Jack Nicholson and Kathy Bates got robbed! Oh, what are you doing here again?
I just want to let you know they didn't kiss. Kathy Bates just showed her boobs. We have it in the Blu-ray department.
It's on Blu-ray, About Schmidt? Where is it?
It's not my department.
Of course it's not. Of course it's not. Get out of here. I hate those guys. Look, the point is, you don't have to do anything to win a Nobel Peace Prize. I mean, apparently, all you have to do is eat chocolate. According to an article in the New England Journal of Medicine, chocolate consumption per capita is directly correlated with winning a Nobel Prize. But before you load up on Ho-Hos and Ovaltine, the article was a tongue-in-cheek way of disproving correlations as causations. In this case, national chocolate consumption probably has to do with a country's wealth, which has a lot to do with their ability to conduct high-quality research. Sometimes correlations just happen. I mean, my home state of Michigan was #1 in eating fast food and #1 in automobile accidents. But that doesn't mean they have anything to do with each other. Okay, maybe just a little bit. Still ahead, David Finch is using Kickstarter to make an animated movie no one ever thought would get made. We'll talk to the directors of The Goon right after this. Now, an animated movie for adults is a tough sell in Hollywood, even when it's based on a cult favorite graphic novel. But that's not going to stop these guys from bringing The Goon to life.
Step right up and become a part of movie history. We're sending Goon to Hollywood, and we'd like to keep his clothes on. Hey! Congratulations! You just became an executive producer.
Joining me now, Tim Miller and Jeff Fowler of Blur Studios, the co-directors who hope to bring The Goon to the big screen. Welcome, you guys. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, what is The Goon, and why would it make a great film? I was introduced to it very recently, so what about for viewers who haven't seen it? Not 30 seconds ago, no, maybe 3 hours ago, no. But what is it, and why would it make a great film?
Well, Goon is a comic book published by Dark Horse. It's been out for about 12 years. It's created by Eric Powell. The best way to describe it is probably Goodfellas meets Army of Darkness. Okay. It's this just really great blend of the mobsters and zombies, and it's all centers around this mob enforcer who's just referred to as the Goon. Yep. And basically, he's using this role as mob enforcer to kind of maintain the peace of this town under the name of this big, most powerful gangster named Labrazio. And so he's using this role basically to collect protection money from the people, but the twist is that there really is no gangster he's working for. He's using this role to protect the people, taking the money just to defend them from werewolves, vampires, zombies, everything that's great, giant robots.
Yeah, and I think what makes it special is that you think he's a bad guy the whole time.
Yeah.
You know, everybody thinks he's this, you know, force for evil, but in fact, he's a good guy, and he's got a heart of gold, and he's tough exterior, but inside...
Yeah, he doesn't want anybody to know.
I mean, he kicks serious ass, and one thing that's so fun about this is it's violent, and I mean, it's adult, and it's real, and I assume you guys, that's part of the appeal for your viewers.
Oh, totally. I mean, look, there's a lot of Pixars and DreamWorks out there. We don't want to compete with that, but there's a whole lot of people like us, we think, that are ready for something a little more adult in the animated world, and that's kind of where we see Blur is being able to come in and say, let's do stuff like this. Everybody else is doing that. Let's bring the fans of this kind of genre something that they can go and see.
Well, where have we seen your work in years past?
I'll take that one.
It is always tricky with two people, you know, because you both know the answer. But
that's right.
Yeah.
Well, I founded Blur 18 years ago with a couple of other FX guys, and we really wanted to start the kind of studio where we chose our own work. We stumbled into doing games early on, like year 3, and we kind of found a niche there, and it's a really great niche for us. I mean, short of doing commercials or film effects where other people are making a lot of the decisions, we get to do a lot of game cinematics where they're like mini movies where we get to tell stories and make lots of pretty pictures. So we do a lot of that. We do a little bit of everything, but we're primarily known for the game cinematics.
Your executive producer is David Fincher, and he created a proof of concept clip that blew everyone away at Comic-Con in 2010. What has happened since then? It's been almost 2 years now, beyond 2 years.
Well, we've just been chopping it around to studios and definitely trying to stir up as much excitement for the project as possible. But it is, you know...
I mean, that's frustrating. It's hard. I mean, what's that process been like for people that don't know?
Everybody that is outside of Hollywood thinks that, you know, David Fincher shows up and people go, hey, let me write you a check. But it just doesn't happen that way. I mean, we tried for years to get a heavy metal film made. I mean, we've been at meetings with Jim Cameron and David Fincher in the room. Zack Snyder was signed up and no go. The Goon is the same way because in Hollywood, people are comfortable with things that they've seen before. If it's a sequel or if they can look at what they call comps, which is basically they look at your movie and go, what else is like that and did it make money?
Right.
And unfortunately or fortunately, there's nothing like The Goon out there. There's not a lot of PG-13 stuff. You know, you can compare it to Beowulf or Final Fantasy, both of which are not good things to compare it to. And it's neither like them, nor did they make any money, which is more important to you know, Hollywood folks. So it's a hard sell to say PG-13 and not for kids, and animation. In Europe and Asia, everybody understands that. Here in America, it's a little trickier.
If only you could bring the Goon in with you and just have him beat some ass.
It's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. Okay,
well, you know, Fincher's pretty fearsome. In the room, there's a lot of guys that are, everybody loves him, but a lot of people fear him as well. He's the nicest guy you'll ever meet, but his sarcasm is pretty brutal.
So you've turned to Kickstarter to raise this money. How much do you need? Where does it go?
Well, our funding goal is $400,000, and every cent that we get from that would go to a story reel. I mean, the thing I think a lot of the fans or the people that come to the site don't necessarily realize is, I mean, we don't get every single penny of that donation. Obviously, it's going to get taxed. We have to fulfill our rewards, you know, the reward fulfillments to the donors. And then, of course, Kickstarter, I think, takes a fee as well. But every other cent is just going to go into the production of a story reel, which then ideally is this blueprint for the film. You could sit someone down and say, look how amazing a Goon film could be.
But you know, the thing that we're seeing a lot, and we got to answer these questions too on the site because the fans want answers, you know, before they spend their hard-earned cash. And one of the things that comes up is, you know, David Fincher, big Hollywood guy, is really rich. He could fund this out of pocket.
Right.
We don't really go into it, but we've spent more than $500,000 between David and Blur. We've spent more than $500,000 already. Doing Pixar quality animation is not cheap. You know, Giamatti and Clancy Brown kind of came on for the love of the project, but to do the animation, to pay the animators, we have to pay them, to option it, to pay Eric to write the script, things like that. We've spent well over $500,000 already, and you know, it's not that, could David write a check for 400? Of course he could. But it doesn't show the studio that there's an audience for that. There's a lot of passion projects out there. I mean, you could talk to Tom Cruise, and he's got 5 projects that he wants to get funded. Does he write a check for $10 million? No, he doesn't. But it's when David goes out there and says, hey, I believe in this, people listen. But when the fans contribute their hard-earned money, I think the studios really pay attention to that, and it proves that there's a market instead of us just going, hey, we think this is cool.
It's such a cool project, and you already have like $140,000 or something. I know there's a long way to go, but that already shows so much, and we appreciate you coming in here and talking with us. So let's say thanks to Tim Miller and Jeff Fowler. If you're looking for some brand new collectibles, Comic-Con is a good place to start your search. Blair Butler met up with the Travel Channel's toy hunter and filled her swag bag high.
They say he who dies with the most toys wins, and while hopefully no one is dying today at New York Comic-Con, I'm pretty sure the winner is this man. This is Jordan Hembrow, the toy hunter, the god of collectors, and he's pretty much ruling the floor here at New York Comic-Con.
I am. I like that, the god of toys. I like that. Personally, I like to think of myself as more of a toy ninja. I'm sort of like, I seek him out and I grab him, you know?
Now, tell us a little bit about the show Toy Hunter for people who don't know anything about it.
I am essentially taking America on the great American toy hunt. We are going through attics and basements and backyards and anywhere I can find, looking through all the great toys from when we were kids.
Well, in that case, let's go scout the show floor and find some. All right, Jordan, where are we?
You're in my booth. This is my company, Hollywood Heroes. I've got some of the big sellers. This is the stuff that I have at the booth that everyone has been looking for. It doesn't get any better than the Bionic Woman. So you're looking at Lindsay Wagner right here. This was Kenner Toys, classic 1970s. You can turn the head, and if you listen, you can hear the clicking, and that's simulated her bionic hearing. This doll is a mint in the box, currently selling for $300. Let's roll right over to the A-Team. This is the #1 iconic van that Mr. T drove in the series made by Galoob Toys. It has Mr. T with it. This toy is currently going for $400. This is the Evel Knievel stunt cycle in the box, still sealed.
It originally sold for $9.
That's right, originally $9.99.
What is it now?
$500. You know what? This stuff is fantastic, but what I really want to do is show you the rest of Comic-Con.
Let's go.
Let's
I'm
take the tour.
excited.
This is the Wise-cracking Alf doll. Now, why do you actually have something like this?
Well, Alf is like actually one of my best and biggest sellers. This one had a little Velcro on his back where you had the battery pack, and then you put the batteries in and squeeze them and he talks.
All right, I got to ask you how much you got him for.
We have 125 on them.
125.
For you,
yeah, what's
150.
I am a huge Muppet fan. I loved Kermit. I loved Animal. You can't beat Ralph, though. And I see you got 195.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. You still have it at 195. It'll go by the end of the show.
Rolf can go home. I don't care. I love Rolf.
He's bringing Ralph home with him.
Yeah.
You know what? This is really cool. I want to look at another booth with Blair. I might be back. Save him for me, okay?
Okay.
Everyone comes to the New York Comic-Con for toys. But other than toys, the big thing is costumes, superheroes and villains and everything. But what's really big this year is steampunk.
Yeah.
And when I'm thinking about steampunk, I'm talking to my buddy right here.
You've got a full rig on right now.
Yes, this is my superior replacement arm. I actually use antique parts. This was a fire extinguisher from the 1920s. This was actually part of a hand drill, an old watch from a company over in England.
Look at that. How much does something like this go for?
To have one of these made right now is about $2,300.
What do you have that's like a little smaller?
These are my famous goggles. I was looking for fair brass goggles and I couldn't find any, so I started making these.
Hey, they're X-ray. Oh, just kidding.
You'd be very disappointed. And how much are these?
Normally at a show about $75.
Would it be possible to pick these up for $50?
Well, if they're for you.
Yep. There you go.
Jordan, thank you so much for enabling me to buy a pair of amazing steampunk goggles.
They look good on you.
Thank you very much. Now, if you want to check out Toy Hunter, where do they find it?
You can check us out every Wednesday night, 9 p.m., only on Travel Channel.
Thanks, Blair and Toys. Tomorrow, Jessica Chobot will talk to stars like Kevin Bacon and show off the coolest costumes at New York Comic Con. But right now, it is time to start the feed.
All the news you need to know.
It's Tuesday, October 16th, and here are your top stories. First up, if you use Verizon Wireless, watch your back. They can see everything you do. Turns out a bunch of personal information is being monitored, like your location, app use, and web browsing. This is part of an initiative called Precision Market Insights, which sounds to me like PR speak for spying on customers and selling the info to advertisers. This raises red flags about privacy violations and the federal wiretapping law, but because they're not revealing customers' identities, Verizon says everything they're doing is technically legal. But top execs at an industry conference couldn't resist bragging. One suit said, quote, "We're able to view just everything they do." The they in that sentence refers to you or me or anyone who uses Verizon Wireless. Not cool.
Not cool.
Next up, I've got some comic book movie news to share. Yesterday, Disney announced a release date for Marvel's Ant-Man. Last July, director Edgar Wright wowed San Diego Comic-Con audiences with some test footage, and it looks like we will all get to enjoy it in theaters on November 6th of 2015. I know. I don't want to wait that long either. We'll just have to distract ourselves with Iron Man 3 and Thor: The Dark World when they're released in 3D. Yeah, you heard that right. Disney also revealed both of these films will get a 3D release when they come out in 2013. And the tech world was abuzz today, beginning when Microsoft rolled out a new update for the Xbox 360 dashboard. It has a slightly modified look that draws inspiration from Windows 8 and introduces new features like an Internet Explorer app that lets you browse the web from your Xbox. Also, of course, it has the new Xbox music app we told you about yesterday. And in other Microsoft news, today the company opened pre-orders of its long-touted Surface tablet. The basic version will pack 32 gigabytes of storage and will retail for about $500. You can pre-order online now, or you can wait until it surfaces in stores on October 26th. And finally, speaking of tablets, Apple sent out official invites to their October 23rd press event. It didn't include any information except directions to the event and a suspicious line that said, "We've got a little more to show you." A little more? Could this be code for an iPad mini announcement? I think so. But I'll keep you posted after Apple reveals all next week. I'm Sarah Underwood, and you've just been fed. Stay tuned. Jordan Peele of Comedy Central's Key and Peele will be here live.
Here's an inspirational clip from Key and Peele. Please welcome Jordan Peele, everybody.
Oh my God!
What are you doing?
You can fly!
Dude.
You can actually fly! Where am I? You can fly!
Yes, you can, kids. Yes, you can fly. You actually can fly. I mean, how ridiculous is this?
Do you remember Kevin Garnett a couple years ago?
Yes, anything's possible, right?
Yeah, anything's possible. He was so amped up. The Celtics won the NBA championship, and he just goes off. And Keegan and I are just thinking, like, dude, you are a 6'11" African-American man.
Right.
Yes, you can win the NBA championship.
Right.
You cannot.
Right. I cannot win an NBA championship.
Nor can I.
I mean, they take these interviews, the athletes, so seriously, and you guys also play off their names when they get announced as the East-West College Bowl.
Football. Yeah, we just love football names.
Yes, right.
I mean, something happens in like Southern Black America.
Okay.
Where just
I'm very familiar with it.
Women must be naming their children names just that haven't exist anymore.
Right.
the Brickashaw Ferguson. That's,
right.
This guy's name is D''Brickashaw.
That's a hilarious clip on you can find YouTube.
Yeah.
But let's get now. Key and Peele obviously is the show. Now you do an amazing Obama impression.
Well, now hold on a second. I don't know if we met him.
Oh, well, that's what I was going to ask you. You actually met him. What is that like?
Well, first of all, he told me straight up. He said, like, this funny guy. He said, I just want to say, commend you on, you got the second best Obama impression.
Yeah.
I think mine's a little bit better. Funny guy.
So he was busting your balls.
He was busting our balls. He turned up the comedy. He knew a couple comedy guys, and he had given us a shout out on Fallon. He said, Key and Peele, these guys do this sketch with this guy Luther, this anger translator, and I'll say something, and then Luther's, I can't say it on TV.
Here's a clip of Luther right here. This is hilarious. And, so he shouted out to you at Fallon, but then how did it go from him saying, I like you on Fallon, to then you are meeting him?
So from there, I mean, that's where, our people got in contact with his people, said, hey, do you want to meet these guys by any chance? And he said, yes. So it was crazy. So he was over at the Clooney thing.
For the fundraiser.
For the fundraiser.
Yep.
We did not go to that.
Okay.
The next day, though, we did get to meet him.
Okay.
And it was ridiculous. We met him at the hotel he was staying at.
Okay.
And it was crazy.
Secret Service, everything.
Secret Service was crazy. I mean, coming in, you don't see anybody,
right?
Because they're secret.
Right. They are secret.
And then you realize people are sort of glancing at you like, oh, they're everywhere. They are everywhere.
Yeah.
And so at one point, Keegan and I are going up the stairs to meet. We met this aide of the president named Bobby Schmuck. No joke, actual name.
Wow.
Great guy. That is his name.
Big fan of the show, I think.
Big fan of the show. And he takes us up the stairs. At one point, these Secret Service guys come in. What's going on here? Who is this? What, you got your credentials? And we just, we got freaked out.
Because they think you're just like random dudes. They didn't know who you guys were.
We took offense to.
Yeah, I would think. We have an arranged visit with the president.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was positive that the Secret Service had been tapping my phone for 3 weeks prior to this. No, apparently I'm not the concern that I thought I was.
Well,
it's the security threat that I thought that
my favorite part of watching the show is you and Keegan-Michael Key. It's like you guys this chemistry is ridiculous.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
I mean, how is that together? Are you competitive, but you're also complimenting each other? I mean,
well, one of the themes that comes up with our comedy a lot, of course, is a little bit of a competition because we just push each other. We love this thing called one-upsmanship, where if he orders ridiculous soul food dish, I have to order a bigger one. Stork ankles. I have to get stork ankles in there. And that is a piece of our comedy. In reality, we are not competitive with one another unless we have a fantasy football game, which we just did.
Okay.
And I won by 0.2 points in the game, thanks to RG3. and his quarterback, Phillip Rivers. Ooh.
Now, we heard you guys compete in a little ping pong action.
We do.
Now, where does that go down?
So that's at our office. Okay. We have a ping pong table. And Keegan is the most fun person to play ping pong with. He's like very straight-laced guy, really nice. He's like basically the black Tom Hanks. Okay. Totally charismatic. Everyone loves him.
Okay.
He goes to church. He has like suppressed anger. Because if I get 1 point on him every single time, it's balls in my mouth. He just punishes himself.
He is Luther, maybe in some regard. He's Luther. Okay.
He has a weird Tourette's when we play ping pong.
Competition can do that. You've been in improv troupes forever. Chicago Train, Second City, and Amsterdam.
That's right.
Any odd jobs as a comedian early out, or as an improv artist?
Comedian, the oddest job as a comedian was when I was living in Chicago, studying comedy, and at some point they did this thing where they would get an improviser to come in to principal testing. So public schools would be trying out different principals to see if the principal was right for them. And so they would have us come in, pretend to be either
bring in comedians?
Either to be a student or a teacher to do this role play scenario.
Okay.
And say I would be either a student who had been touched by a teacher or a teacher
Right.
who had touched a student. You know,
Right,
one of the
okay,
two.
okay.
And it's just seeing how the principals would deal with that. And it was very strange because afterward I would fill out a little, this principal came down a little harsh on me. I'm just a student. Why can't I touch my principal? You know.
So you're somehow evaluating the principal. You're an improv comedian, and you're evaluating the principal.
10 years. I think the reason there's so much murder in Chicago in the past few years is because 11 years ago I was deciding who becomes principals of public schools. Yeah.
Maybe that explains it all. You've invented a board game? Did I read this correctly?
Yes.
What is this board game?
Well, it's actually, there's no board involved,
Okay.
okay? This is a game, this is a simulation of being a producer in the movie world. And so you have different cards with different celebrities.
Okay.
I'm not in the deck yet, okay?
Okay.
But, you know, for instance, you'll have a card that has a script on it, and I just play this with some of my buddies, and it'll say something like Fat Suit Frolic. Or something, right? A genre of a script. And the whole point is you have to cast the film right. And,
That's funny. It's great you did that.
Yes, it's very...
A little side project, and while your second season of Key and Peele's coming up, we have to say goodbye to Jordan Peele, unfortunately, but thank you so much for being here. Thanks to Jordan Peele. Key and Peele airs Wednesday on Comedy Central, and now over to beautiful Candace.
Aw, thank you, Michael. Stick around. Chris Gore's seen Moonrise Kingdom and That's My Boy, and he has some opinions. Find out what they are after this. Welcome back, film expert Chris Gore.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chris. What's up first?
First, we have Moonrise Kingdom.
Now, what is this film about?
It's about two kids who run off and have a romantic adventure, and this is before the internet. They met as pen pals, and he's in the main kid is in this group that's kind of like the Cub Scouts, and they freak out when he goes missing. So, but it has all the sort of comedic awkwardness that's sort of a signature of all the Wes Anderson movies.
Okay. Any performances that stand out?
Amazing. Edward Norton, Bruce Willis, Bill Murray, Harvey Keitel. I mean, just such an amazing cast.
There's so many names in this.
I could keep listing. It's just, but yeah, they're just so reserved and not like you're used to seeing them in other films.
Okay.
And Wes Anderson's film, they all have such a bizarre look to them.
Funny.
Yeah.
Hey, Bruce Willis.
He even looks funny.
He does.
Yeah, but it's. I mean, there's a sweetness and a weirdness about it.
I can see that just in these clips.
Yeah.
How are the bonus features?
They're good. I just wish there were more. That's my only complaint about this.
That's not a bad
I wish
thing.
that there were more, Wes. And I feel like they've always done the Criterion Collection editions for his DVDs, and I kind of get the suspicion there's going to be a better edition that's going to be coming out. It's a sneaking suspicion.
Why do you have the suspicion?
Because he always does that. He always does that. That's why it's not really suspicion. It's kind of he always does that.
Got it. What's the bottom line?
Bottom line is strong recommendation to rent it.
Okay.
Like,
oh, we got a strong
see it.
recommendation.
Yeah.
I like the strong
It's
rec.
a strong.
Yeah, I like it. What's the next DVD?
Next one we have is That's My Boy.
Now, do Adam Sandler and Andy Samberg make a good comedic duo?
They absolutely do.
Of course they do.
They have a similar background, having come from SNL. They both have musical backgrounds.
They both kind of look alike.
And they kind of look alike.
Weird.
I mean, in it, like, Adam Sandler is, the father of Andy Samberg. And Adam Sandler, when he was younger, had sex with his high school teacher. She had a baby, which ended up being Andy Samberg. She goes to prison. He raises the boy in a horrible way. He names his son Han Solo, which actually is pretty cool. And then he gets a full New Kids on the Block back tattoo, which ends up...
Oh, there it is. Oh, my gosh. That's ridiculous. Danny, Tony, Joe, John, Jordan.
The heads end up stretching.
Love it.
So, yeah, it's just... I just think it's one of those things where it's like, look, you won't believe me because the last several Adam Sandler movies have not been good. But I defy you to sit in front of a TV. I'll tie you up. Try not to laugh. I'm going to force you to watch it, and you have to try not to laugh.
I love Adam Sandler.
Oh, well, then I don't have to force you to watch it.
You don't have to force me. I'll sit there and watch it on my own.
Yes.
So what's the bottom line?
Bottom line is rent it. I know. I know.
Okay. No, I like this. To rent.
But well worth it.
Okay.
Really funny.
What else do you have for us to check out?
Check it out with Dr. Steve Brule, seasons 1 and 2.
Now, why should people take a look at this?
Because I mean,
tell me.
It's John C. Reilly playing the strangest, most awkward. He's like a local Channel 5 news guy who does all these bizarre segments for this news station. And it's one of those things where it's like the more you watch it, the funnier it gets. There's a segment where he interviews himself because he didn't have a brother. He pretends he has a brother who's much cooler than he is. And all the segments are strange. It's bizarre. It's one of those things where the menu screen on this is funny because they just keep repeating the same weird sound over and over, which I left on my TV for an hour. It was a strange, hypnotic experience. I recommend that you all do it.
This is amazing.
And of course, Tim and Eric have cameos in it because that's where this character came from. Stephen Brule came from the Tim and Eric show. It's just delightful weirdness loaded with like deleted scenes.
What's the bottom line?
Bottom line is buy it. Buy it because it's one of those things I'm going to watch over and over again.
I want to point this out real quick. On the cover, he looks so much like our stage manager, Andy.
Oh, he does? He does! He does look like...
Oh, it's so great!
Get him the wig!
He does. All right, we've got time for a quick pick.
Dodecapentathlon from the Duplass brothers, comedy geniuses. This thing's amazing, cool, lo-fi indie. Check it out. Dodecapentathlon.
All right.
Cool.
Thanks, Chris.
Thank you for having me.
For more Gore, check out his podcast on iTunes. How did you get here?
I just
Sounds
popped
like
in.
magic.
I just popped
crazy.
in.
Hi.
When we cut to Andy and I was standing behind him, it looked like I was like trying to get more camera time.
You were. Sure.
Which, guess what? I was.
You want to go to the Twitter
wall? Twitter wall. Which one do you want to talk
Ron
about?
Milbeck, never talk about Cleveland. We will find you. Well, how can we not talk about Cleveland?
A guy stuck his head in a bucket of piss. I mean, that's not. I'm from Detroit area, and I don't even think people do that. They can't afford it.
I don't even know if people do that in Florida.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I made that statement.
High-tech redneck. How come when Sarah Underwood feeds me, she doesn't pretend the spoon is an airplane?
Well, that's a question for Sarah.
That's a question for Sarah. Why don't we point to Sarah?
That's creepy.
That's creepy.
I'll do it tomorrow, okay? Whatever.
Okay. Well, it doesn't...
Thanks to Jordan Peele, Chris Gore, Sarah Underwood, Blair Butler, Tim Miller, and Jeff Fowler.
Good night.